Welcome to Word on the Cloud, where we talk about stuff. Man, you would think I would have my intro down by now, but the amount of times that I've recorded it, embarrassing. But welcome to the Cloud, where we talk about what was, what is, and what could be. My name's Aiko, still very much your host. Happy New Year's, everyone. Welcome to the Cloud. Welcome to a new time in history. I hope everyone had a safe New Year's and that it was fun, however you may have spent it. I'm recording this before New Year's, so I don't know what's in store, but I'm sure it will be a sweet, chill time. Let me know how your New Year's went, because I'd love to hear about that. So, with another year upon us, I thought it would be nice to take a moment to reflect on what the past year has shown me. Back in early 2021, I wanted to write a podcast for what I learned in 2020. And I found it almost silly, because I try to put everything into a list. But there's no list I can really make for that. So I just thought I'd share a few things that I've been through and felt this past year, and maybe you'll hear something you can relate to. So, this past year, aside from the obvious elephant that's been in the room the past two, I worked from home till the middle of April. Then that job had closed down. Been working with them since the end of 2018, I want to say. I then had the luxury being able to take some time off. During that time, towards the end of June, the house I had been living at for a couple years with roommates was purchased, and I had to find a place to live. Now, going into 2022, going to be starting a job fairly soon here. I live in a wonderful home, and with the time off, I've been able to start this podcast, which has been going for a little over 3 months. And the amount of support and kind words that it's received definitely makes it all worth it, so thank you. But it wasn't easy. It seems easy now that I hear it in a few sentences, but it was definitely a time that made me realize I can't do another year like how it's been. Being comfortable with whatever, as long as I could put up with it, which was going to be a long time if these things hadn't happened. And I'm very blessed now to be in a space that allows for a lot of growth and stability, in the way that I feel like I can continue to work towards my higher self, with way less blockages in the way and transcend even further. And maybe that's all I really wanted to make this episode for, was to remind you that not everything you lose is a loss. And sure, you can write resolutions, but I think that's how we get easily discouraged. First, because the world is uncertain. Second, because you just see this goal in front of you. And maybe you're not ready for the result because there's still things that you're holding on to, or things holding you back. I remember hearing that if you keep the dead leaves, flowers, on plants, that when you water the plant, it will still try to feed the dead. During this past year, I realized that I was watering a lot of dead plants. Old ideas, old ways of being, old desires, and these things just didn't align with the person I was becoming, because they didn't work anywhere in the picture. All this to say, it is a new year, and to live it in the same way, with no challenges, no losses, you might as well be living in your own Groundhog Day year. And we have so much more potential than that. But if we're holding on to the setbacks, the version of ourselves that's comfortable with complacency, you're just going to keep watering dead flowers and wondering why there is no garden, when you could cover the earth in roses if you really wanted to. Metaphorically, unless you really want to try. I truly hope that you have a wonderful year ahead of you, full of learning and growth, settling more into yourself and discovering yourself at the same time. It's not about getting it all together by some date on the calendar. It's about knowing that we can just make each day better for ourselves and others when we let go of the things that don't serve us. And knowing that the world is ever changing as we are, and using that to its fullest potential. I'm excited to see where you go. So, here's to 2022. This one's for you. As always, do with this information what you will. I do want to thank you for sharing your time and energy with me, and I'll talk to you again soon. Later.